Welcome to DPV. We have got an exciting day today. So today we are going to go do 0 to 60 tests in the Big Chief to see, what our baseline is. Get a compression test and then start tearing this motor apart. So my plan is to try to get this motor tore down all the way to where the heads are off, cams out, that kind of stuff. I want to check out these cylinders and see if this thing's worth, putting my speed parts on. So, but I want to get that baseline, 0 to 60 tests done, so kind of know how much power we gained. If you haven't been following along, I was doing a budget build on another AMC 360 and just about ready to button the thing up. I thought, I need to change out this rear main seal. And I pulled the cap off and the bearings were terrible. Pulled off a few more caps and the crank needs turned. So trying to keep this kind of a budget build. Not really wanting to do any machine work, so this one runs pretty good. It's just lacking in the power department. So we're gonna see if this one is good enough to throw the cam and intake on. So let's go for a little drive. Do a 0 to 60 test. So this thing actually starts pretty good. Hopefully it'll be a good budget builder. Alright, well, this is as good a place as any. I'm going to wait for the car to pass. Got 0 to 60 app on the phone. And as long as the Jeep doesn't like bog down or do something weird, I'm just going to do one take on this. So that's set. Here we go. Alright, we'll try it one more time. Reset. Do that again. Jeep does not like wide open throttle. That's terrible. Alright, this spot's going to give me a little help because there's a little downhill. We'll see what happens. This thing is pitiful. 19 seconds. We gotta improve that. So let's get back to the house, tear this motor apart, see if it's a builder or not. Well, I knew it was gonna be bad. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. So let's start tearing into this thing. I think what I want to do first, we'll get coil, oh that's nice. Coil popped off, get the carb, air cleaner off, and then try the compression test before we get too carried away. Hopefully I can get a few things pulled off the top while it cools off. What's that all about? If this isn't sealed, might need a new cap. Glad I got it nice and hot before I turned into it, but it was fun to kind of know where we're at. All right, got all the plugs out. Got my little ignition, starter wire here. I just still got the distributor in, so the oil pump will turn. I got the fuel that was going to the carb capped off. Didn't pull the fuel pump, but this has a return line, so should just circulate it back to the tank. So now we're just gonna test the compression. Alright, so compression test is done. The numbers are a little bit low. I guess we'll find out when we get the heads off whether it looks like a ring issue, a cylinder wall issue, or maybe it's in the heads. So I did squirt a little oil in the cylinders before I did this, but they're all above 120. But you can see the passenger side bank is a little weaker than the driver's side. They should be around 140, but I have no idea how many miles are on this motor. So we'll start tearing it down and see what we find out. Got to drop the fluids first. So what I think I'm going to do is just set up a time lapse for you guys and start tearing this sucker down. Well, got the heads pulled off, and we got bad news. We got a broken piston, number 8. So I'm going to rotate the crank around and see how that cylinder wall looks. The other ones are really glassed over, so like there's no cross hatching anymore. Can't really see it in the camera, but which is probably where my low compression's coming from. A little bit of a ridge here, but I can't tell if that's just carbon. There's a ridge. So now the question is, do I rebuild this one because it's got a good crank, or do I rebuild the one in the shop? All right, let's turn this motor over and see how that cylinder looks. All right, can't really show you on camera, but it does have some gouges at the bottom of the cylinder wall, but the rest of the cylinder wall looks pretty good. So, oh, dang it. Well, I guess now I just need to call some machine shops. That sucks, but it's all right. We'll get a nice, tight, strong AMC 360 now, so that'll be good. Guess I'll start pulling the motor. All right, well, I didn't film pulling the motor because kind of got into hurry up mode, but there she is. There's the big empty hole. Those motor mounts were totally broken. So another issue I have had is anytime I hit like a hard bump, it would pop out of gear in the transmission, and I think it's because the motor would torque so much that it would pull on the linkage. But I've got new motor mounts, so that's good. This will give me a chance to really get this all cleaned up. Alex is gonna come help me tidy up the wiring. I had some really sketch wiring. Let me see if I can find that starter wire. Oh, I think it's inside. It was like melted on here. Lots of scary stuff, so this will be good. And we've got a plan. I'm not gonna do a full rebuild on this. Still, I'm trying to avoid machine work, and some of you might not agree with that, but here's the deal. I'm just trying to test the waters with this AMC world here, because I feel like if I get into a bunch of machine work, I'm gonna be kind of committed to running this motor for a while, and I might not want to run this motor for very long. I just want to see kind of what a warmed up AMC 360 feels like. So what I'm going to do is put this crank, because I know this crank is good, put this crank in that block. I am going to buy a set of rings. Since I have to pull the crank and pistons out, I might as well re-ring it. And then I'm going to do all new main bearings and rod bearings. So it'll be nice and fresh. And then we'll try out that Summit cam and Edelbrock intake, and hopefully have a few more ponies under the hood and beat that freaking 19 seconds. That is embarrassing. So anyway, that is it for this episode. If you want to support the channel, we've got merch down on Teespring. We've got a bunch of different t-shirt designs. You can buy yourself a t-shirt. That helps the channel out. You can shop on Amazon via any of the links in the description below. There's a new way to support the channel. I am a pharmacist by trade, and I know that medication adherence leads to better health, and sometimes it's hard to afford those meds. So there's a link to RX Spark in the description below. You can go there and save up to 80% off the cash price of your medications if you got a prescription. So go check that out. And then last but not least, just like, share, and subscribe. Trying to hit that 1,000. Getting so close. We're climbing each week. So yeah, wheel it, wreck it, wrench it, repeat. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.